Hi everybody, I'm Zilla Blitz and welcome. It's a dark and stormy night in 1915, and as we huddle in our soggy, wet British trenches, the orders have come down from high command for us to lead a 10-man patrol out into no man's land on an as yet unknown mission. So shortly, we're going to kick up out of the trenches, head out in towards the enemy, see if we can accomplish our mission and bring everybody back safely. Let's get started. Hi everybody, welcome to Trench Raid from Compass Games. In this video, we're going to go off on a mission into no man's land with our 10-man patrol. Now we can see at the bottom of the map here, this is our trench line. This is our 10-man patrol, and we're gonna go out here and have to do something. Now, just for scope and scale, the missions you can get can either take you into no man's like this, which is pockmarked with craters, or it can take you all the way up into the enemy trench lines. For the sake of the video length, I'm going to actually assume that we're getting a mission into no man's land. Usually you roll a die and there's a 50% chance you could be taken to the enemy trenches, or 50% chance you're just going to end up in no man's land. I'm going to assume we rolled a no man's land mission, and then now I'm going to roll a 6-sided die to see what our mission for the evening is. We get a 3. This is, our mission. Rescue a wounded pilot who crash landed in no man's land. The wounded pilot must be carried back to the trench lines and must still be alive in order for the objective to be completed successfully. He was reported by another building to be sheltering in a ruined building. Now, one of the parameters of the mission, we know this ruined building. We're going to have to go out and map the area and see if we can find it. It's at least 5 hexes away from our starting position. So somewhere out here in the middle will be our target, and somewhere there is that wounded pilot. Hopefully we can save him. Now we have a 10-man patrol, and I asked for volunteers on the channel Patreon, and we have 6 volunteers there, and then I'm going to be the officer in charge of the patrol. That's 7, and then the other 3 responded to a community post volunteering to be on the patrol. Let's take a look at our 10 soldiers for this patrol. I'm going to show these in patrol order. So I am Zilla, I'm the officer on this patrol, and I'm at the front of the patrol line. So I'm at the very front leading us across. Now, every member has stats, speed, strength, courage, command, shoot, fight, throw, and luck. If you're playing a campaign, you can customize these with from a total pool of numbers. But the generic game, the basic mission type of scenario, says that each one of these is a 3, and then by the nature of the person's role, they get an extra 1 in command. So because I'm an officer, I get a 4 in command. I've just left all the other ones blank. Those are all 3s. Now, you also can pick a skill in lieu of one of your 5 items. I've picked a skill for politician. That's going to give me an extra die on command. So I'm going to have 5 dice on command type of actions. Let's go now to the second person in line, which is our first rifleman. Here is Rifleman Nelms. He is a marksman. So he's got shooting. Because he's a rifleman, his extra stat is in shooting. So he's a 4 there. And he's going to be an extra die, 5 dice, because he has the marksman skill that we've picked for him. Now, down below we can see everybody can take 5 pieces of equipment if you don't have a skill, or you can have a skill in 4 pieces of equipment. Everyone's taking a gas mask, because if we get gassed and we don't have gas masks, it's bad. A rifleman has to take a rifle, and then Nelms has got a flask of rum and a balaclava, which is a night mask that makes him harder to be spotted by snipers. Right behind Nelms is Parkera. He is also one of our riflemen, so he's got a rifle. We've got him a helmet too. He's also carrying our compass in case we get lost. So his shooting is a 4. Now, we've given him the skill of a pugilist, so he is a boxer, which gives him +1 die to any fight type of actions. 5th in line is Scotzo. He is our bomber, so he's got a bag of grenades. He can't carry a pistol or rifle. It means he's got a club, so he's going to whack people over the head. His throwing skill, because he's the bomber, he gets an extra die in throwing, so 4. And we've made him a professional cricket player, which gives him an extra +1. He's got 5 dice in throwing. Right behind him is nicknamed Warboard. He's a carrier, which means he also carries a bag of grenades to give to Scotzo to throw more grenades from. He's got our wire cutters. We've got a bunch of wire cutters on the patrol. In case we run into barbed wire, we're gonna have to cut our way through it. He is also a pugilist, so he's got strength as his extra category because he's a carrier, so he's got 4 dice in strength, and then +1 die because he's a pugilist, so he's good at fighting as well. Working back in line, we've got Edward H. He is our third rifleman, so he's good at shooting. He's also a medic, which will help us in case we have soldiers that are wounded. And he has brought a flask of rum and a field dressing. Behind him, William C., our fourth and final rifleman. He's a strongman, so his strength is +1. He can shoot for a 4. He's got a rifle, helmet, wire cutters, and a gas mask. So 8th in line is Eric M. He's got a medic. He's good at throwing because he's got a bomber skill, and a medic will give us an advantage should we have other people get wounded. And then bag of grenades, club, field dressing, and a gas mask. Carrying for Eric is Dave. He's got an extra bag of grenades. We've made him religious, so he's a very devout soldier, which gives him an extra +1 on courage. He's also good at strength because he's a carrier. Now, we are giving him a trench periscope too, which if for some reason we end up in the enemy trenches, it could be helpful. I don't think we're going to need it on this mission. And our non-commissioned officer is Scott. He's at the back of the line. He does speak a little bit of German, which could come in handy should we run into Germans out there and maybe wounded soldiers or who knows what could happen. He's got a courage of 4 by the nature of his role. And then the German would give us extra abilities to succeed at any interactions with the enemy. He's also got a field dressing, a compass, and a gas mask. We've got redundancy with pretty much every piece of equipment we've got. Those are our 10 soldiers. Our mission has been dictated. It's time for us to go up and out of the trenches into no man's land. It's time for us to go climbing out of the trenches. Now, before we can go out into one of these 3 hexes out of our departure spot here, we have to map the terrain, and the way we do this is we roll on this mapping blank hexes in no man's land. We're going to roll 2d6 to see what there is out there. I'm going to roll as a general practice. I'm going to roll for the hex right in front of us, the space in front of us, then off to our left, then off to our right. So let's see what is directly in front of us. Oh, seriously? Okay, so what we don't want is barbed wire. And to get barbed wire, we have to roll snake eyes or boxcars, and we got barbed wire. So there's barbed wire right in front of us, which is outstanding. Now, the way barbed wire works, there's a whole system for how you put it in place. It also goes not just in front of us, it extends 3 hexes out on either side, forward first like that, and then not in any craters. So actually, we'll figure out a way around it. It's not probably too bad. So I'm dropping in the barbed wire. I'll get the other pieces in place for us here. Alrighty, so barbed wire's in place. Not the greatest start here for us. Let's check the hex to our left, the area to our left. We get a 5. I believe that is open. Yes, it is open ground. Most of the terrain is going to be open ground. And actually, the craters are good for us to be in because if we get fired at by machine gunners, it gives us extra cover. We get a 9, which is also, I believe, open ground. Zooming out here to get an idea on our strategy, we want to get 5 hexes away. We've got to clear out from away from our front lines here. And then the way we're going to find the wounded pilot, there's 2 ways we can find him. We might have an event that's triggered called Wounded Men. And if that happens, we automatically find him. He's one of the wounded men. But otherwise, we have to go search these empty hexes until we stumble across the ruined building. And we only find that on a die roll of a 3 or 4. So we're going to have some searching to do in no man's land until we find it. And the way we want to do is to search these open spaces because we're not going to determine the craters. There's not going to be a ruined building in the crater. So with that in mind, let's go this way off to our left here. And we'll clamber out over here. And now we're in our first open space. And so this is where we roll to see what happens. Every space we go into in no man's land, we have to roll to see if there's going to be an event or not. And we're going to use this determine if event occurs chart. In open ground, on a 1, 2, or 3, something happens. On a 4, 5, or 6, nothing happens. 6, nothing happens. All quiets on the western front. So that is excellent. Now we can map terrain that's unknown to us here, but there's nothing. We've got our own trench line, barbed wire, and then a crater all around us. So we don't have to figure out what anything is. Let's move forward up into this crater for our second action. So this small crater, we're going to roll now to see if there's an event. It's the same die roll, 1 to 3, a 4. All quiets on the western front. Now, so no events here. Now we're going to map these spaces in front of us. We're going to check directly in front first. Now, if it's a ruined building that's too close to our front lines, we're only 2 hexes away from our trenches right now. We have to be at least 5. So see what's in front of us here. We get an 8. That is open terrain. I'll roll all of these and then put them in here. Open terrain. 4. Oh, a ruined building. We don't want it now. So there's a ruined building off to our right we can spot, but we know the wounded pilot's not in there because it's too close to our trench lines. Oh, we could use that just a little bit further into no man's land. Let's move up, though, into the ruined building here, because it gives us less of a chance that an event's going to happen. In a ruined building, an event happens on a 1 or a 2. 5. No events yet. Looking pretty good. Let's roll now to see what the terrain is in this empty space out here. We get a 4. It's another ruined building. Okay, so what are the chances we're going to roll all ruined buildings now? We found a little town that's been decimated, and then as soon as we get past these ruined buildings, we're not going to find another one forever. So we've found 2 ruined buildings already. No events so far, though, so pretty quiet here. We're still pretty close to our own trench lines. We're moving up now. We're 3 hexes away from our own trench lines. And let's see if an event happens up here. So far, nothing going on. A 6. The Germans are all sleeping for us now. All right, so we'll roll to see what's in the space in front of us here. Get an 8, which is open, and then off to our left, we get an 11. An 11 is a shattered forest. So we get interesting terrain off to our left here, and then open terrain in front of us here. Let's head out into the shattered forest because it's less of a chance of an event happening. And by and large, events are bad. So a shattered forest has the same event chance as a ruined building, a 1 or a 2. Oh, we get our first event. Okay, so to see what the event is, it's fairly simple. We have a 20-sided die, and we're going to roll on the event chart to see what type of it is. Now, these are for events in no man's land, not for events in the enemy trenches. So here is our D20. We get a 12. Missing man. Oh no. So reading the text from the missing man here, in the darkness, one of the members of the raiding party has blundered off and gotten lost. Each soldier, starting with the last man in the marching order and working up the column, must roll a d6 to determine whether he has become separated from the raiding party in the darkness. Any prisoners the raiding party are destroying must roll as well. We don't have any prisoners. The first soldier to roll a 1 is the one who is lost. This soldier who is left behind and must make his own way back to the trenches. The event ends when a man goes missing or after each soldier has made a roll. If none of the soldiers rolls a 1, the man who blundered off returns to the raiding party. All right, so let's go through our soldiers here and see who is the missing man and gotten lost. It's a random die roll here. This is our marching order. We've got our officer, me at the front, and our rifleman, and then our NCO at the back here, who is Scott. So it's most likely that Scott could be the one who get lost. We're going to start rolling there. We're just going to roll through these and see when we get a 1. So Scott's up first. He's okay. Now we go to carrier number 2, who is Dave. He's the religious one. He doesn't get lost. We go to Eric M., our bomber. Eric M., our bomber, has gotten himself lost, stumbling around in the night. He's wandered away from our patrol, and we've lost him. Now we have to see what happens to Eric M. We have to see if he makes it back to the trenches or not. For Eric M., unfortunately, it's a very simple situation here. We're just going to use this man left behind chart. We're going to make a d6 roll for each soldier who is left behind by the raiding party. Actually, I think we'll do this at the end. That'll be a little bit more dramatic. So on a roll of a 1, he's dead. On a 2, he gets captured. 3 or 4, he makes it back but gets wounded. 5 or 6, he's safe. But we're going to roll for Eric M. here at the end. In the meantime, we're going to make a note on his card that he is lost. And we're going to shuffle up the order here. We're now down to 9 men. We've lost a bomber, and we don't get any of his gear. He had a field dressing, a club, bag of grenades, and a gas mask. He was one of our medics, too, which isn't the best of situations for us. So our patrol now is down to 9 men. Eric M. is missing, and that's that. Next up, let's see what type of terrain is off in this space off to our left here. It's wide open terrain. Now, we're still not far enough away from our lines where we could be finding the pilot. So, but we're getting closer now. So let's push forward here. As we get up into the crater here, let's see what type of terrain is in front of us. Now, we are now 5 spaces away from the enemy lines for these ones in front of us. So if we get a ruined building, we will have found the missing pilot. Get an 11. Oh, that's a good roll for a big number, but it's a shattered forest, not a missing man. Lots of interesting terrain out here in the nighttime. We can go up into that perhaps. Let's roll now for the space off to our left. We get a 4. Outstanding. This is going to be actually a very easy mission for us, perhaps. Well, I totally just jinxed it. We found a missing building. When it's 5 hexes away. That's incredibly lucky for us. Wow, that's as soon as we could have found it, we found one. And off to our right, we get a 5. A 5 is open ground. I thought that was another missing building. Oh, that would have been so cool. So, good news for us. We might actually be in pretty good shape here in terms of we can move up now into this space. We do have to roll, though, to see if we get an event in this crater here. I forgot about that. Okay, so let's roll. We should have done that before we checked the terrain. Let's see what type of an event we get in a crater. Small crater is a 1, 2, or 3. We get an event. Oh, we get another 1. So something happened. Let's roll to see what it is. We get an 8. 8 doesn't sound like a good number at all. Oh no! An 8 is lingering gas. Gah! Okay. So this could be potentially very bad, but fortunately, the commander in charge of this patrol made everybody bring gas masks. So because we all have gas masks, we could be okay. So let's read the flavor text here for this event. The air here is filled with lingering gas. If it's chlorine or phosgene gas, it could cause serious respiratory damage or even kill. If it's mustard gas, a mask won't offer any protection against the painful blisters it can cause. So first we have to roll a d6 to determine what type of gas. On a 1 to 3, it's chlorine phosgene. On a 4 to 6, it's mustard gas. Now, we have gas masks. Everybody has a gas mask, so it's to our advantage if it's chlorine gas. And of course it's not, it's mustard gas. Okay, so this is gonna give us a chance to see how all of the events work. So what happens now with its mustard gas means each soldier must attempt an average speed roll, and we'll talk about what that means, to scramble away from the gas. On a failure, the soldier suffers 1 light wound. On a botch, we'll talk about what that is, the soldier is blinded and automatically incapacitated. Now there's some other rules here for prisoners, but they don't apply to us. So we have to scramble out of the way of the mustard gas here. Let's go through and do this in order for each of the 9 soldiers left in our patrol. So this is going to be good because it's going to show how most of the soldier actions work in the game. And basically we're going to run this check for each one of the 9 soldiers left in our patrol. And we have to roll, most of the actions are some kind of a check against your stats. In this one, for mustard gas, it says it's a check against our speed stat. Now, we mentioned at the beginning, anyone that I left blank is a 3. That's just the generic number for it. So for me, for Officer Zilla, I have 3 speed dice. Now, in order to succeed at a task, first we have to understand the difficulty of the task. The task is either an average difficulty, which means we have to roll 1, 5, or 6 on any one of the 3 dice in order to succeed, or it's a difficult task. If it's a difficult task, you have to roll 2 successes on your die roll. So we need 2 5s or 6s. Now, fortunately for mustard gas, this is an average roll. So I'm going to roll 3 dice, because that's how many speed dice I have, and I need 1, 5, or 6 to succeed. Now there's one other thing to note. If you get no successes at all, you have to roll 1d6 to see if you completely screwed it up. It's called botching it. And if you get a 1, that means you completely botched it, and the consequences are usually much worse. In this case, with mustard gas, not only do you get this wound there, but you're also going to get blinded and incapacitated. So botching is really, really bad. Now, there's one other system that we haven't talked about, and that is luck. And luck right here is also, has a number. It starts out with 3 for everybody. And down below my feet here, I've filled in the 3 luck boxes. Luck is basically re-rolls. So we're going to roll the 3 speed dice. If I don't like the dice that I roll here, I can use a luck token to re-roll any number of the dice. So I think because it's mustard gas, I'm probably going to do this, although it's only a light wound, so that might not be too bad, but let's see what happens. So first up, Officer Zilla notes the mustard gas. I'm going to have to try to scramble away. Let's see if I succeed. Oh my gosh, I totally failed. Okay, because we're kind of halfway, almost to the ruined building. I am actually going to use one of my luck points because I don't want to roll to see if I botch it either and get blinded. That would kind of stink. So I'm going to roll all 3 again and use up my luck. Let's see if we succeed. There, I got a 6. This is an average difficulty, so I have succeeded, but I did use up a little bit of my soldier's luck there. So that's our first soldier. Let's go now on to rifleman number 1. Nelms trying to scramble away from the mustard gas. Oh my gosh, you get 2 1s and a 2. That's pretty bad. He's going to use one of his luck elements as well. And we're going to see if he can succeed at it. God, Nelms. Okay, we're going to do it again because we're going to burn it up again. If he fails this one, I'm going to leave 1 luck point because we might need it. There he goes. He finally succeeded. He scrambled out of the way of the mustard gas. Parkera is up. He succeeds with the 5. Excellent. Scotzo, our first bomber. 6. No worries. Warboard. 2 5s. Exceptionally quick for Warboard. He's okay. Edward H. Ah, very well done, Edward H. William C., our 4th rifleman. Oh, very successful. Our 9th man, Eric M., is wandering around no man's land by himself. But Dave, our carrier, last but not least, he succeeds with the 5. Excellent. So, whoops, I forgot about Scott. Our NCO at the back of the line. Scott gets a 6 and a 5. 2 successes, no problem. Everybody's successfully evaded the mustard gas. There is nothing left for us to see or map out here. So we're going to go forward now up into this ruined building, and that's where we meet our pilot. One thing I'm not sure of is if the finding of our wounded pilot supersedes the roll for an event, but it does say each time you roll enter a hex you have to roll. So I'm assuming we're going to have to roll. So let's see if we get an event in the ruined building here. On a 1 or a 2 we do. We get a 6. There's no event. So we find our wounded pilot. Let's see now what happens with this. So when we find this wounded pilot, we now have to designate 1 person to leave our patrol and carry him back. Now, we don't stay together for this. I think it's assumed that we'd be going on even though we are turning back and heading home after this. But we will have to designate, by rules, we have to designate 1 person. Maybe they're taking a different speed, going slower or faster or something. But we're going to have to pick 1 person to go back and carry this soldier back. And let's see who we're going to pick. Since we've already lost our bomber, Eric M., who's wandering around no man's land somewhere by himself, we're going to send Dave, his carrier, back with the wounded pilot here. So Dave is going to be detached from our patrol, and his designation is going to be take the wounded man back. And then we have to see if he's going to be successful in carrying and helping and aiding this wounded pilot get back to the trenches. Now, fortunately, for carrying wounded back, normally it is a skill roll against strength, but it depends on the distance that we are away from our original trenches. And if we look here at the chart, if it's 1 to 6 hexes away, it is automatically successful. And we are currently exactly 5 hexes away from our own trench lines, which means that Dave is going to automatically succeed at carrying the wounded pilot back, which means that we have officially been successful in our mission. So we're going to break Dave away from the patrol, and he's going to take the wounded pilot back. That's going to leave us with 8 men. So I've moved Dave's little chit here off the board, and I've got him carrying the pilot to designate that. We've got 8 men left. I'd say we have been quite lucky so far in our patrol in terms of events and what's happened, and we haven't had any wounds or casualties. We've only got 1 person lost, which is pretty good, and we've already succeeded our event. Now we have to make it home, and I'm going to do that in the next episode. I'll put a link to it right here as soon as it's ready. Thanks for watching, everybody. Episode 2, The Return of the Trench Raid, will be up soon.